When Hammurabi ascended to power in ancient Mesopotamia in 1792 BCE, the world changed forever. He confronted a challenge that no ruler before him had ever faced: how to unite an empire composed of countless peoples, each with their own language, their own gods, and their own deeply rooted customs. Most conquerors of the ancient world responded to such diversity with brutality or forced assimilation. But Hammurabi and the Babylonians chose a different path, one that would lay the foundation for the world's first truly multicultural empire. The secrets of how they achieved this feat have been buried in the sands of time. But as archaeologists painstakingly reconstruct the past, what they're discovering will shock you. The truth about Babylon's rise has been hidden for thousands of years, and it changes everything we thought we knew about human history. Before Babylon, empires like the Assyrians believed the only way to control diversity was through force, relocating entire populations, erasing ethnic identities, and ruling with an iron fist. The Egyptians, meanwhile, isolated themselves within the Nile Valley, rarely mingling with outsiders. But the Babylonians inherited a patchwork of civilizations: Sumerians, Akkadians, Amorites, Elamites, and dozens more. Each had their own traditions stretching back thousands of years, their own city walls, their own gods. Babylon could have fractured into chaos at any moment. Yet, against all odds, Hammurabi forged from this turmoil an empire famed for its unity, prosperity, and astonishing cultural achievements. The genius of Babylonian multiculturalism wasn't just tolerance. It was pragmatic, institutionalized diversity management. Instead of imposing Babylonian culture on everyone, Hammurabi designed administrative systems that allowed different peoples to preserve their traditions while serving a shared imperial project. Imagine a society where the government doesn't just permit diversity, it actively supports it. Babylon's secret lay in recognizing that attempts to suppress local customs would only breed rebellion, so they found ways to weave countless practices into a unified imperial tapestry. Nowhere was this more apparent than in their revolutionary language policy. While many ancient empires forced their subjects to speak the language of the conqueror, Babylon took a different approach. Akkadian was established as the diplomatic and administrative language, but citizens were allowed, indeed encouraged, to use their native tongues in daily life and local courts. Government documents were written in Akkadian, creating stability and unity, but local judges could hear cases in Sumerian, Amorite, or Elamite. This bilingual empire meant that for the first time, people could maintain their ancestral identities while participating in a sophisticated bureaucracy. What archaeologists found in clay tablets from Babylonian archives stunned the academic world: a web of languages and legal traditions more complex than ever imagined. The Code of Hammurabi stands as one of history's most famous legal documents, but its real innovation lies in its balance between universal law and local custom. The code didn't try to micromanage every detail of daily life. Instead, it established core principles: presumption of innocence, proportional punishment, legal procedure that applied everywhere, while allowing cities and villages to keep their own laws for marriage, property, and religious observance. This flexibility prevented the kind of cultural conflict that shattered so many ancient empires. It was a system centuries ahead of its time, and legal scholars today still marvel at its sophistication. Religion, often a source of division, became a tool for unity under Babylonian rule. Rather than demanding that conquered peoples abandon their gods, the Babylonians created a pantheon that absorbed foreign deities. They identified commonalities between traditions, allowing a Sumerian to honor Inanna while an Amorite worshipped Ishtar, two names for the same goddess. Temples rose side by side in the city of Babylon, and religious festivals blended rituals from every corner of the empire. Archaeologists have unearthed shrines and altars bearing inscriptions in multiple languages, testifying to this unprecedented religious pluralism. The city of Babylon itself became a living symbol of multiculturalism. Strolling through its streets, a visitor in ancient times would encounter ethnic quarters, each with their own architecture, markets, and community centers. The fabled Hanging Gardens, long thought to be mere legend, were recently reinterpreted by scholars as a botanical showcase for plants and landscaping techniques from across the empire, a living monument to diversity. Massive stone structures built with techniques borrowed from distant provinces stood next to mud brick houses decorated with motifs from every known civilization. The grandeur and scale of Babylon's constructions defy explanation. Stone blocks so massive that modern machinery would struggle to move them. Temples aligned with astronomical precision, and art that synthesized influences from across the ancient world. Babylonian economic policy was equally pioneering. The empire established standardized weights, measures, and currencies, making it possible for merchants to travel from Sumerian to Amorite cities using the same units. Yet, local markets were permitted to maintain their own specialties and trading customs. Pottery styles from Elam mingled with textile techniques from Akkad, creating new forms that still puzzle archaeologists today. Trade routes crisscrossed the empire, carrying not just goods, but ideas, technologies, and cultural practices that would transform the ancient world. The Babylonian military was a melting pot of ethnicities. Unlike other empires that segregated soldiers by background, Babylonian commanders mixed units from every corner of the realm. This forced cooperation and created a shared military tradition. Imagine the scene: a Sumerian archer standing alongside an Amorite spearman, both defending the same walls. When these veterans returned home, they carried with them new perspectives and practices, spreading the seeds of multiculturalism even further. Babylon's bureaucratic innovation was equally radical. Officials from diverse backgrounds were integrated into the imperial administration, ensuring that local interests were represented at the highest levels. Provincial governors were often chosen from local elites, bridging the gap between imperial oversight and community loyalty. This system kept the empire stable for centuries, even as new peoples were absorbed into its ever-growing mosaic. Marriage and family law also reflected Babylonian pragmatism. While the empire's legal code set basic rules for contracts and inheritance, local communities were allowed to maintain their own wedding ceremonies and family structures. This policy encouraged intermarriage and cultural blending, laying the groundwork for a society that was truly integrated but never homogenized. Education in the Babylonian Empire was tailored to multicultural realities. Scribal schools taught the imperial language, but also preserved native scripts and oral traditions. Students learned history, mathematics, and literature from both Babylonian and local perspectives. The result was an educated class capable of navigating the complexities of an empire built on diversity. The legacy of Babylonian multiculturalism echoes down through history. The Persian Empire that followed adopted many Babylonian techniques, including the use of local governors and religious tolerance. Alexander the Great tried to emulate Babylon's model, and the Roman Empire's sophisticated system of citizenship owed much to Babylonian innovations. Even today, scholars draw on Babylonian examples when studying how to manage cultural diversity in modern organizations and societies. Archaeological discoveries continue to reveal new layers of Babylon's multicultural achievements. Pottery shards, architectural fragments, and ancient texts show a society more diverse and integrated than anything previously imagined. The secrets of Babylon challenge mainstream narratives, forcing us to reconsider what we thought we knew about the origins of civilization. In the end, Babylon's greatest achievement was proving that unity does not require uniformity. By building systems that supported both collective identity and individual tradition, the Babylonians created a blueprint for multicultural empires that would be copied for millennia. Their story remains a testament to the power and the mystery of human ingenuity. But many questions still remain. What hidden technologies did they use to build their monumental city? What forbidden knowledge was lost when Babylon finally fell to the Persians? And could the secrets of ancient multiculturalism hold the key to solving the challenges of our own divided world? The sands of Mesopotamia may yet conceal answers that could change history forever.